I'd like to take a second and welcome you to Hippo's Guide to Feeding Your Dog the Raw Way. This is a video based on my personal experience with feeding Hippo raw food. Raw has numerous health benefits, which are, but not limited to, increased energy, wider teeth, smaller stools, and greater mobility. So let's get started. Starting with all of our ingredients, I have chicken on the left, and this chicken on the price tag says 99 cents a pound. However, I was able to snag it out of the manager discount bin at a price of 59 cents per pound. So I did not just snag 1 or 2 packs. I actually bought about 5 packs, totaling around 20 to 22 pounds of chicken. Then I went to my Asian fish market and got some Philippine round skull at a price of 99 cents per pound. Shown as just one fish, but I got a few. And then I have my liver. I'm using beef liver as my organ meat. When you do feed organ meat, make sure it's 10% of the total weight of the dog food that you're making. So if you're making 23 pounds, you should get about 2.3 pounds of organ meat. By organ meat, I mean kidney, liver, pancreas, secreting organs, not muscle organs such as heart. There's my tools of the trade. Up top are 3 bowls I put the chopped chicken into, and at the bottom is my chop block and cleaver. Now we're moving along to the grinding section, and by grinding section I mean grinding all the meat I've chopped up. There you can see I have the chicken on the left, and behind it I have the chopped up fish. You start the grinder, and there goes the auger. There's the auger warming up. And once the machine's decently warmed up after a few seconds, you can add the meat. And there it goes. Use the equipment as a safety precaution given to you, such as the tamper that the machine came with, because you don't want to push the chicken down and then get your fingers chopped up there. Now, as far as the plate I'm using on this particular grinder, it's the coarsest plate the grinder came with. It came with a variety of plates, fine, medium, and coarse. The medium took too long to grind, so I'm using the coarse. The bone fragments in it are very small. Even the smallest dog breed could easily eat this food. Not everybody grinds their food, but I do personally because I have a dog that chokes on food. And my dogs, believe it or not, do not like eating anything that represents an animal. You give them a chicken leg, and they look at you as if to ask, what am I supposed to do with this? So I just grind everything up into a non-recognizable loaf, and it's a happy medium for everybody since I have several dogs. Once again, there's a good shot of the fish all chopped up. Now, I add the fish and the organs, the liver, in the back. I add that to the pot last, and I do this on a per pot batch to add your organs and your fish last, and then we're going to mix it up all into a crazy looking semi-stew form. And I think that's going to be our next shot. Doesn't that look appetizing? We're back at the chop block, and here I have a piece of beef liver, and I'm just cutting it up. Not going for any particular style points here, but I'm just cutting it up so it's able to fit into the grinder. And you shouldn't really use a cleaver to cut things up, but like I said, I wasn't going for any style points, so I'm just going along chopping this up so it can fit down the chute of the grinder there. And I'm gathering all the pieces up. And there I'm putting them onto the feed tray of the grinder, and as you can see, the pot's full of ground up chicken and bones. And this is kind of cool right here. It just kind of slides in there. And as you can see, liver comes out very easily in the grinder. It just kind of bleeds out like that. Now I could chop up the organs and add them to the ground up meat and bone meal, which I sometimes do that as well. However, it can be a pain to get the organs out, measure them, and then add them later. Here I am adding the fish. It looks a little bit different than the liver, as you can see. I have to turn the pot so everything fits in there. And let me add another piece of fish here. Actually, I'm adding a piece of chicken to clean everything out. Sorry, I added the fish already. I got carried away in the conversation. But I'm adding a piece of chicken to clean everything out in the grinder. So I'm getting all that organ and all that fish out. Fish is a great source of omega-3 oils and other fatty acids. So I add it to the dog food. And it gives a little bit of variety. You don't just want to feed the same thing. Like, you don't want to feed just chicken unless your dog has a food allergy. Now I'm mixing it all up into a slurry. I guess that's what you would call it, a slurry. The fish oil does make everything actually more sticky than it normally is. So it's kind of sticking to my gloves there. Into the pot makes things a little bit more difficult. As you can see, you just knead it around so it becomes, an even consistency. And this is why a lot of people tend to feed whole prey items or whole parts, because, this is very messy the way I do it. You don't have to do it the way I do it, but if you have dogs, that choke on things or, have soft teeth or whatever, this is a good way to feed the raw diet. Just to grind and mix everything up. And that consistency there is getting pretty good. So we're just about done here. There's a piece of liver running down the side of the pot. Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But, if you love your dogs, you'll do what it takes. Alright, and this shot is everything all nice and mixed up. And doesn't that look appetizing? And it smelled pretty heavily of fish. Maybe not to you and I, but to the dog, that looks great. Because that's pretty much what the whole ground up animal looks like, sans fur. And now we have it all packaged up into proportional Ziploc bags for my 3 dogs. Actually, these are for 2 dogs. I have one dog that's allergic to chicken, so this wasn't pertaining to his diet. And there's bowl 1 for the Malamute, bowl 2 for Hippo, of the dog food in the bowls, ready to be eaten. And here's our test subjects coming out right now. There's Hippo with the camera. Normally they eat inside, but for the sake of consistency of the video and so you wouldn't see my, dirty kitchen floor, we fed him outside today. And I usually make the food outside just because it's way easier to clean up. You just hose everything down. So there I am, and here's the dogs. Hippo's excited to get food. This was the first time I used this particular type of fish, so Hippo didn't seem too interested. Cody, on the other hand, the Malamute, right there, he started gobbling everything down as fast as he could. While Hippo's taking his time. Paste the water there. I also put water into my food, just so Cody right there doesn't choke. It goes down a lot easier. It doesn't stick to his throat. And then they eat it a little bit slower when it's mixed in with the water. They seem to take their time doing that. So Cody's liking the food. Hippo's not too sure, but he'll give it a shot. Just because the other dog's eating it. I'll tell you what, though, having multiple dogs with the picky eaters is great because the competition to eat, and you can see his body there. He's in pretty good shape for being an old man with severe hip dysplasia. And there's a shot of Cody eating. Now, one of the stipulations of feeding the raw diet is that your dog will become aggressive towards other dogs. And as you can see, Cody thought about coming towards Hippo, but decided not to, and then goes nonchalantly, licks the scraps off the ground, and goes back to finish licking his bowl clean. And here I have Cody, pat him on the head, no signs of aggression, even putting my hand down by his muzzle, which made him nervous and go away because I'm the dominant, but he went away. No aggression. And here's a benefit to raw diet, smaller poops, which I caught on camera. And they also smell less, too, because your dog's eating what he's supposed to eat. And it's less harsh on his bowels. Hippo goes back to licking his bowl clean. Getting some scraps off the ground. And checking out Cody's bowl, and Cody checks out his bowl, and they see, if anybody has anything left over. Thanks for watching my video. I hope this at least inspires one of you to consider the raw diet as a method of feeding your dog. Hippo's done so well on the diet. He's flourished. He has great mobility for severe hip dysplasia at the old age of 8. He has numerous increased energy levels, and his teeth are pretty white. I can't be happier with this diet, so why not make a video? But thanks for watching.